We're back.
Welcome back, everybody. We have returned to fulfill your hopes and dreams of our continuation of answering your questions.
Yes.
What he said.
Indeed. I just want to quickly mention Darren's back. So what's going on, brother?
Yo.
Welcome back.
Ahsoka had to take off.
Oh.
So
See you, buddy.
He's gone. And then Mr. Fisk just reported me for unwanted commercial content or spam. So thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You clicked on this video. You know what you deserve.
He didn't say that he did that to the Pokey Factor. He did it to me.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
To you
for
specifically.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Paul is following his patterns and understanding his, day-to-day routine. I think.
Indeed.
I
I have a high enthusiasm for that.
It's worth reporting.
On that note, what knife steel have you changed your opinion on over time, and why? And I'm gonna be honest, this might be the most influential, important question that answer we get tonight. And it comes from a place that you might not expect it to come from. It comes from Mr. Fisk. And he says...
He's influenced stuff. We just don't like to admit it.
And he says, Dennis sucks.
It's controversial. I don't know if it's influential, but it's...
I mean, it's super on point.
I almost got Paul to do a spit take there with that one, but yeah.
Super on point. Fantastic.
Yeah. NY Blade EDC says crewware.
Okay.
He was originally unimpressed and has since changed his opinion on it.
I will agree with that, actually. I haven't played with crewware personally myself, but my initial impressions were yeah, just another hype steal, blah, blah, blah. And then all the reports I've read is no, you should probably pay attention to this stuff. It's actually pretty good. So, yeah, I can understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
It's an interesting steal. I've had people request stuff made out of it before, and it's when people want an exotic, weird steel, they're into it.
I've heard on a hardness level of M4, if not exceeding, a hardness and a toughness of M4. So, yeah.
Right. I keep thinking that crewware gets up into the 70s, but that's Z-ware that gets that high, right?
And Maximate.
Z-ware
Yeah.
Maximate.
Yeah.
There was one other ZDP. I think you could push that, or no, ZDP. You could
just
ZDP
64,
chopped
66.
it
60. Yeah, 66, 64. Yeah. Anyway, what other answers we got?
Mad Adam says AEBL, but he doesn't give an explanation as to why, if it went up or down.
Okay.
So I could see two different viewpoints for this, because on the forums, AEBL is touted as being this super fantastic, stupid tough, stupid stainless razor steel that holds a decent edge. And by all accounts, it's a reasonable choice. But if you compare it to other stainless steels on the market, nah.
Yeah, and then you look at the what's in it, and you're but no, this shouldn't be that good. If you actually look at the chemical structure of AEBL, there's nothing in it that stands out as being holy cow, this stuff is made of awesome material. But for some reason, the custom and especially fixed blade custom community just clings onto this stuff like it's gold.
So I can actually comment on that. I was talking to a custom maker on Saturday, specifically about his choice in ABEL, because that's his steel of choice 9 times out of 10.
Maybe it's easy to heat treat and heat treat accurately, maybe. So
that's part of it. That is definitely high on the list. The other thing is that it's easy to machine and to get a really nice polish on. It's an easy knife to get finished.
But at the end of the day, it shouldn't be outperforming anything like a 1095.
Well,
Like,
okay, so here's the
Yeah.
thing. It's AEBL. If you're gonna push it to, what was it, 65 Rockwell, according to Knife Steel Nerds at least, it will outperform 1095, both in terms of edge holding and toughness. And by way of composition, we're gonna assume stain resistance as well. So it
but are
should.
you talking about a 1095 and a 65 at the same time? As far as
61, I think, is what that was marked in at. So if you
So
bring,
they did a 1095 at 61,
yeah,
and they did an ABL at 65.
the idea was to use the optimal heat treat, the optimal Rockwell hardness for the steel.
Okay.
Whereas 1095, if you push it too far, it gets super chippy.
I'm actually surprised that they said the optimal was 61. Honestly, I would have thought 59 or 60 at most for a 1095.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't have thought optimal was 61 myself. I think that's too high. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm not a chemist, so
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't AEBL chemically the same as 13C Sandvik?
It's stupid similar. I don't know about exactly identical, but I can check. Just because I'm the only
I know.
one.
I think on the steel charts it comes up as like alternatives to each other.
Yeah, it's they call it similar to 13C26. So if I pull up
There you go.
13C, now 13C26, you really don't see too often outside of like kitchen knives, right? Like I haven't seen it in too many folders.
Gerber tried to use it for a while.
So
Uh,
it's basically the same thing. Like your magnesium is.
And then Henkel Kitchen Knives covers it up and calls it something else, but at the end of the day, it's still 1326.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
The point that I was trying to make though is that it's a Sandvik steel, and Sandvik steel strops back from going dull.
Hella nice. All of
Yeah.
Sandvik steel too. Yeah, yeah.
So and like even it's razor blade steel, right? Like that was the original thing that it was used for was straight razors. And in that case, stropping it back sharp is probably one of the nicest things you can have in a steel. So I'm not having to take it to a stone and resharpen it.
Right. So, yeah.
One opinion. What would be the opposite opinion?
That it's overhyped. That it's overhyped as shit. And I think it kind of is. I think it is overhyped. Depending on who you're listening to.
You should work with some of it, and then you would know.
I would need 2 ovens. Or 2 kilns. That's the kind of the holdup, because it needs to go immediately from one temperature to another, and there's no real resting phase from the research I did looking at the spec sheets for it. Otherwise, I'd be super interested in working with it.
I see.
Nerd.
I mean,
look at you all being knife nerdy and not wanting to play with ABL. I thought it was supposed to be super easy to manufacture.
It's straightforward if you have 2 kilns, and I do not. And
you're one kill short of success.
Yeah, more or less. At least when it comes to AEBL. Yeah.
Next answer.
On that, Adam Simon says S30V. It's good enough.
Hey, excellent.
It's good enough.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Kind of, yeah.
Hey, the way Spyderco and Benchmade do it, hell yeah, absolutely.
Meh.
You're a snob though. You're a steel snob. We're all steel snobs, I should specify.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't think I've played with Spyderco's S30 enough to say, but Benchmade's S30 definitely leaves something more to be desired compared to more of the exotic steels on a noticeable level compared to an S90 or a 20CV or an M4.
Okay, but you're dealing with an S90, a 20CV, or an M4. Those are very different monsters from S30. Like,
yeah.
S30V is routinely considered the safe choice when it comes to, entry high level, right?
Safe as hell and easy to resharpen if you do put a flat spot. But if I bounce off of something with S30, I expect to put a flat spot on it. If I'm dealing with one of those more exotic steels, I'll be like double checking to see if I put a flat spot on it. And I may or may not have, depending on how hard I'm hitting into something or whatever it may be, right? But
Well, yeah. I mean,
ultimately, those other steels can take it, whereas I expect S30 to be like, all right, I got to fix that after I'm done, type
Just-
of thing.
Like the photo that Joe has up of just the forge.
The Forge, yeah, that's been a running one. I expect Jet Li to have some sort of Chuck Norris martial art fancy move going on over top of the red hot coals. But it hasn't changed for like the last 10 minutes. It's
coals. What kind of? Anyway.
awesome.
Anyways.
The coals on the red hot coal.
Next answer.
Yes.
Anyways, Lurie Fax says 12C27 because it gets really sharp really fast. And even though the edge retention isn't all that, he still likes it.
You're not wrong. How many of us have one of these?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
And we just talked about like resharpenability and how easy. Like, yeah, it might not hold the best edge, but Jesus, it resharpens like instantly. Just bang, it's back type of.
Mhm.
One of my favorite like small EDC fixed blades is a little Nordic. It's Nordic, right? Nordic Ika or the Ika Nordic. In 12C27, and that was where I like really learned how to sharpen knives because you got immediate results. You could see very quickly if you were doing something wrong or correct, and
the wire burr that develops, and yeah, it's
and you
very
can
clean.
scream and sharp.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually read Ben's answer right now because it's kind of relevant to what's going on in chat right now. Ben says D2 for sure. His new favorite steel over the cheap ass mass market alternatives, which, yeah,
It's the new chromoly. It's the new 8CR, right? Like it's D2's taken over.
but I like it.
it sure is.
Yeah.
Everyone from Tucson to Benchmade is using it. Although Benchmade's been using it a lot longer.
Yeah, but you got a Tucson up there, like you know what the hell steel is in it.
All I'm saying is it acts like Tucson, it acts like D2.
It acts like a Tucson.
It
Yeah,
acts
you
like
better-
a Tucson. Actually, super brief aside, I've heard some troubling things about other Tucson designs where they may not be using the things that they're saying that they're using, which
Of
is
course they're not.
which is
They've
not
been lying
great.
sons of bitches the whole time. It's,
Yeah, this could be like a really well done 9CR.
Yeah.
But anyway, next question. Before Paul
Onwards.
or Nigel gets to it, because I know he was chomping at the bit to be like, next question! And I beat him to it because I'm a dick.
Well,
So-
next answer.
Next question.
See?
Mr. Fisk says he loved a good D2, which I'm not going to touch, but I'm sure there's some kind of joke in there. Icy knife reviews, and I don't think we ever actually.
Okay,
determined
I
if
did
it
some
was-
investigating. Not
Okay.
the same person whatsoever.
Oh,
So Icy Knife Reviews, no, dig in. He seems like he's got some legit reviews, and it's not the same person that we thought it was going to be, but at the same time,
I
we welcome.
am both relieved and saddened by this news. Let's just say
I
that.
watched a couple of reviews. He's just starting out, and I would actually give a shout out to him to go follow because he's not Icy Potato, and he actually has some really valid points. I watched 2 or 3 reviews and was like, yeah, this guy actually has something to say. So yeah, good stuff. Anyway.
Let's hear his answer.
Crewwear, because he actually bothered to learn about how fantastic it is, which I think is something that you touched on, Dennis, where the original comments about it were like, is it overplayed? Is it that good? And then it comes back and being like, no, it's that good.
Well, like Bark River and Spyderco both flared that steel up, and they flared it up, flashed in the pan for a while, and then it went away, and no one heard about it again. So I think that's where some of the like, was it overhyped type of thing came into play, was because it was there, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. And even though they've stopped using it in a large majority of their things, it doesn't mean that it's maybe it was just a harder steel to deal with than other things on the market that perform better or whatever, right? 3B, or for instance, yeah. So
I just want to give a quick shout out to John in Mississauga. He says he's watching on his TV tonight, and it's hard to comment. Cheers.
That is fair.
And he's saying
Good day.
that the Spyderco siren is a no from him. So
yeah, I understand where he's coming from. Bring back up a siren picture. It's worth talking about.
is it?
Well,
Put up which picture? Sorry, the siren.
we gave it a
We've
7
gone
for
past it.
enthusiasm.
That's fair.
I just heard jumbled mess. What was that?
Next
don't know.
question. Next answer.
All right, continue on.
Stone Wookie says, none. I am always right.
I
So,
don't know if I
thanks,
can.
Darren.
All right.
Well, I'm pretty sure the last knife he bought was an M4 Kershaw. So, he's not wrong, I guess.
Mr. Fisk said, put up the Wayne Goddard. No one will even know.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, put a picture of that up. It's fantastic.
Did I close that?
What
already?
model is the Wayne Goddard? Is it a C something? Like,
I mean,
I'm
they're
curious
all
on-
something.
I'm curious on how old it is.
C16. That's it. It's a C16. Holy shit. That's an old
Wow.
Spyderco.
Early one.
Hey,
Yeah.
There you go. Like pre-native. Native is a 41.
Now that I'm looking at it, it has more belly than the siren.
Yep.
It's like someone decantoed a bailout on a siren.
Get lost. Get lost. That shit. Oh, I've not
I'm
had
not
enough.
wrong. I'm not wrong.
On that note, and Dennis is being right or wrong, would we like to give our opinions on a steel that we think our opinion has changed on?
I'm super curious.
I would like to start if you don't mind. Because
Yeah.
it kind of mirrors back to something that Ben was saying earlier. And my response was actually D2. It was the first higher end steel that I ever kind of dipped my toe in with. And as far as a working blade, I really liked it. But because my only experience was sharpening things that were Oz 8 or 8CR or worse, getting into D2 felt like I was struggling uphill. I could not get a proper edge on it myself because I didn't know that I needed to keep going. I needed more patience and
Or better equipment, or a combination of both, or whatever it was, right? So
that's it.
Were you working with a Spyderco at that time, or like the sharp maker?
probably only the sharp maker, right? Like
I think it was a transition from the Lansky to the sharp maker, actually.
Okay.
Um,
I was just gonna say that's actually one thing that kind of came into play a lot as I moved into higher end, more wear resistant steels. The base ceramic stones you get with that sharp maker are not sufficient for resharpening from dull when you're dealing with things like S110.
you should put up a Benchmade with D2.
All
You
right.
had the same coal pitcher over there for the last 20 minutes.
No.
Come on, man.
I switched to the Goddard. But here, you know what? I'm gonna bring up a knife that's near and dear to your heart, because it's also near and dear to mine. Because I
There
freaking
you
love
go.
this knife.
There you go.
Oh,
And I will correct myself. I said 701 last week because I was drunk, apparently. That happened.
710.
It's a 710. Yeah. No one corrected me on it, too, which shame on everyone else that let me get away with that shit.
I don't think Mr. Fisk was in chat yet to give you shit for it, because he would have. So somebody else, what's
Anyway.
your opinion?
I have a feeling that Dennis might be able to guess what my answer is.
I think I know. I think I posted a knife just a second ago that had some of it on
Yep.
some of it. Yeah.
M4. I'm still mixed feelings about it. It's the toughness and the thought of the diminishing returns of how hard it is to work with compared to the performance. And its performance is awesome. And I have been enjoying it so far, but the main thing that really tainted my view of it was my first experience with working with it in any way was trying to forge it.
Yeah.
And you do not want to try and forge M4 by hand because, oh my god, it does not move. It is such a bitch. I hate trying to forge it.
You need like a power hammer or a hydraulic press or something if you're gonna. Yeah.
Would it help to have a diamond hammer?
No,
well, the
not
thing
at
about
those temperatures.
M4 and why it was such a well-known tool steel is because of its high hardness at red heat, because it was being used in die making and stuff like that. So forming dies and using hot liquid or hot material pressurized in there and getting heated up, it would keep its form exceptionally well.
Yeah.
So trying to move it, it doesn't move because it holds its hardness and the stiffness at heat.
Oh, you were stubborn about M4. You're like, no, I hate it. I hate it so much. I'm like, no, but cut with it. Cut with it and then just cut some more with it. And then cut some more. And it's a phenomenal thing, right? So
Mr. Fisk is trolling in chat, I hope, saying, wait, did Dennis reprofile his bailout to a drop point? Why has nobody mentioned that?
There was a whole episode about it last week.
Yeah.
I hope that's his point.
He was here for that.
Oh.
I think you should go back and give a thumbs up to last week's episode. So apparently your blood doesn't curdle because Joe's an asshole.
Yeah. Dark asshole.
Yeah. It's a Joe job.
Yeah, no bleaching. No bleaching involved.
Awful.
Next answer.
Next question.
One of you two.
Oh, I could go.
Please.
We'll save me for last. That's fine.
Yeah, okay. So do you want like the traditional Joe answer where I don't really give a straightforward answer, or do you want like a more simplistic?
Should I just say 3 hours later now, or
no? So I'm gonna give a twofer. How about that? It's 8CR 13 MOV and Oz 8, and it's specifically the relationship between these two steels that made me rethink how I feel about both of them.
3 hours later.
Before I got into knives, Dennis I think it was Dennis who had actually sold me my Spyderco Tenacious. Not a knife I have here, but something that it was one of my first knives that I had bought out of my way specifically for work. And the 8CR worked fine. And then I had heard about Oz 8 and Cold Steel and some other companies who were using it, and I thought, okay, well that, on paper it sounds like a good step up, and most people seem to think pretty highly of it. But it never worked out very well. And Oz 8 went from this thing that, like, yeah, I look forward to seeing it in a knife because, like with CRKT, they make some stuff with Oz 8 where it might be considered higher end compared to some stuff that maybe uses, I don't know, 4116, for instance. And in that case, it's a clear step up, of course. But over time, I kind of found myself really hating Oz 8.
I'm not convinced about that. I'm not convinced it's that much of a step up from 4116.
From 4116, in my experience, it is. But from 8CR, it's not really a step up. For me, in my use, it seems to be pretty much a lateral move. Like, I've had better, and it could be due to the geometry, but I don't think that's the case. So many different makers, like Kershaw, Spyderco, that I've had using 8CR 13 MOV as a blade steel, have been performing as good or better than a lot of my Oz 8 stuff. So now whenever I see Oz 8 listed in a knife, and especially when it's from CRKT, it's just like, it actively makes me mad.
But is that Oz 8 in general, which I'm not saying that it's not, or is it CRKT?
It's
right?
I think the only reason I think it's Oz 8 in general is because I've played with Oz 8 a lot from Cold Steel, back when they were using it with things like the
3 hours later.
The Spartan. Okay, the Spartan wasn't bad, but that was more like an outdoors, you just beat the hell out of it kind of knife. The other one was the Counterpoint. That was another knife that I carried quite frequently, and the tie light with eights. That was Oz 8, and it just never held an edge the way I would have expected. So it went from this thing that, like, yeah, this is the next step up in me exploring what I could do, and
what's the comment? 3 hours later. 3 hours later.
No, I just did an entire Sudoku puzzle during Joe's answer.
I'm just trying. I mean, yes, but also you're right, and you're making me feel bad. But it's anyway. To summarize, I just think summarize. It's overhyped as shit. I wish I had never gotten into looking at Oz 8. I wish I had just stuck with the 8CRs a little bit longer because they've outperformed almost every other 8CR Oz 8 blade that I've had. And I'm a little bit salty about it.
Next answer.
Wait, that's me.
That's
Yeah.
me. Thank you for coming to Joe's TED Talk.
Okay, so my answer actually might surprise you guys. My answer is actually Oz 10.
Okay.
So Oz 10 came around, and we posted some Cold Steel like reviews of like the air lights, and there was something else that had Oz 10 in it from Cold Steel. I can't remember
The
what.
Voyager with a crisp blade.
And the Cold Steel haters came out in force. Like, you don't know anything about steels. Oz 10 is nothing like Oz 8. Blibbity, 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 blip. So is what I heard. Anyway.
All right.
So I did some homework on it, and apparently the blibbity blibs were right. And yeah. So Oz 10 is actually quite a bit of a step up from Oz 8. Definitely in the 154 VG10 whatever category, which is a pleasant surprise because honestly, I'm glad Cold Steel is using it in things like their Formax Scouts, their air lights, their things like that are in this VG10 154 whatever kind of category. Makes me respect them a little bit more, especially at the price point that they're at, right? So, but I will definitely say that I just categorized it into an Oz category. I'm like, Oz 4, Oz 6, Oz 8, Oz 10, who the hell cares type of category,
That's
right?
racist.
So I will admit totally steal racism.
I don't think it is.
I don't want to think about that too hard.
Well, okay, so the steel just has slightly squintier. No, sorry. I won't even finish.
Oh,
Good call.
Dennis.
Asking if we ever did, what are we carrying today? And we did. You weren't here in chat yet, and I never ended up asking you. So what are you carrying tonight?
Just for the record, just for a gratuitous pocket flash, what I was carrying. Speed holes. Joe's with me on the speed holes.
Hell yeah.
Nigel's sexified it out with the sequel there. What are you carrying, Paul?
I'm carrying my GEC.
Oh, the GC. That's right. That's right. It needs a walker.
Yeah.
Maybe two
It's a
canes.
nice cardigan sweater.
Like 2 canes. One of them's like a good willow. Like it's, yeah.
I was going to say, a little ashamed to say, the only Oz 10 I own is out of the console series from Shun.
I don't even know any Oz 10. I'm above that. But
Oh, geez. All right.
So I got a response from Mr. Fisk as to what he's carrying, and he said he's not carrying anything. Just kidding. It's the old guard.
Oh, okay.
Tanto half serrations. Good stuff. Good stuff.
On that note, do we want to get into the fights for the evening?
We might as well. We got limited time left, so.
Indeed.
It is now time for what everyone has been waiting for. The
I
next
miss the
round.
I
What
miss
was
the
that?
spooky voice.
It's not spooky season anymore.
I know. Continue on. Sorry, I had to interrupt.
Terrible.
We bring you our next round of our ridiculous epic fight league. For the first bout, we have Chef Kalari with his trusty lemon zester versus a horse-sized crab.
Crab. And Mr. Fisk is saying it's not his half-serrated Sabenza, it's his Monterey Bay Old Guard.
Oh, it's literally called the Old Guard. Okay, that's a good-looking knife, by the way. Yeah. I knew it was Monterey Bay, but I didn't realize the name of it.
That's
Anyway.
okay. Is the horse-sized crab a horseshoe crab?
No.
Oh,
That's horse size, maybe, but
is it a
Horseshoe
horse-sized?
crabs don't have arms to murder with.
Sure, they do.
I'm
They're
going to
just
guess
under their shell.
Alaskan king crab is what
Yeah.
we're working with here.
Okay.
Yeah, like a typical sort of eating crab that you'd find in a restaurant because he's
Yeah.
a chef.
Alaskan king crab. That's what it will mess him up.
Oh,
Person for
it's
scale.
not even a tit. And in fact, we'll get right into it with the fact that the horse-sized crab won.
Oh,
Well,
fantastic.
okay, so in Chef Clark's defense,
It's a horse-sized crab.
you gave him a really shitty weapon, dude.
Yeah, it's the lemon zester.
He's really into his lemon zesting.
I
We talked
realize
about
that,
it last
and I
time.
appreciate it for what it's worth, but it's not going to save him. Like,
It didn't save him. It was a 59%, 41% split.
That's closer than I thought it would be.
Once again, that's kind of following Dennis's noting of the mythical beast just kind of barely squeaking over.
it's always just in that 50 to 60 realm. It really
Yeah.
is. It really is.
It was 9 votes to 13. 9 for Chef, 13 for Crab.
And I'm telling you, weapon matters. Crappy lemon zester or like Contigo, as I mentioned. Like it could be the difference between that 10% spread.
So the important thing about that is that Chef Kalari responded to the poll.
Did he vote for the crab?
No. He and in my DMs he said me plus a zester plus lemon plus butter versus giant crab equals crab boil for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I
Yes,
think that's
yep.
how he actually dies, is that he's sitting there making the boil and the crab just sneaks up behind him and shoves him in.
I was gonna say but all his only weapon is the zester. He doesn't have the butter. He doesn't have the lemon. Without those, he's powerless.
What chef doesn't have butter?
Chef Kalari, because all he's got is the zester.
Touche.
Yeah,
That
like
was-
if it was like a day in the life sort of scenario and Chef Kalari's just in his kitchen working and the crab sneaks up on him, yeah, by all means grab whatever you want. But I think
In an
because we
arena
specified,
setting where all you have
Yeah.
is a zester. Yeah.
yeah, because we specified that it is a weapon, I'm assuming it's going to be in an arena.
It has to be. It has to be.
It's an
Yeah,
arena
so-
made of butter.
And unfortunately, then Chef Kalari did not make it out of the arena alive. Like
No.
he didn't get a chance to
Still
get
eat,
towards his
so that's
butter.
the important part.
Are you sure?
He what? Trick?
Huh?
He
I
what?
said we still get to eat at the end, so that's the important part.
Yep.
Um,
We'll just have some long pig.
So
I
when
don't- I don't
when
think the
read
lemon zester
that-
is going to help me there.
I'm just trying to blow past this. So when I read that, when his weapon was the lemon zester, my first thought in my head, and that's all I can think about now, is just crab zest.
Crabs.
Yeah.
Good old crab zest.
It's like this.
Just
It's
sit down at
so
the restaurant, like, would you like some crab zest on that, sir?
Yeah, scrape.
the zest. It's so hard, and is that the shell? Did you zest the shell into my fucking plate? Like,
Yeah, right.
as long as the zester's not made out of Oz 8, whatever. I don't care.
Well, it used to be Oz 4, but apparently it's Oz 10 now, which if you say is like the same as Oz 8, you get a whole bunch of Russian people that are really angry at you.
What the
That's for
hell
sure.
is it with
It's
Russian
you saying
people
the
and
cold
cold steel? Like, there's some kind of relationship there between like Russian people and Cold Steel products, and I don't know what it is.
It is tough, yeah.
The correlation surprises you?
Well,
It's because it's cold. It's the coldest of the steels, which obviously has to work well in Russia because of the cold.
it can't be that simple.
Mr. Fisk is lamenting in chat that he got killed by a fucking scientist.
True story.
And yeah, Ben's laughing at him because Ben voted against him.
Nice.
Well, you got to be realistic. It's a 60-40 spread, right? Like it's
That's it.
Oh God.
So I didn't go through and capture everybody that voted because I figured we would run late and it would save us time by not doing that. But you asked before about who Chef Kalari voted for, and he voted for himself. A man of supreme confidence.
I imagine he probably did. Yeah.
Next fight for our final bout of the evening, we have Advanced Knife Bro versus a Costco of cardboard.
Indeed. So if anybody else out there has watched Advanced Knife Bro videos in recent history, and even going back farther, he's addressed it before, where people bitch and complain that all he does in a video is cut cardboard, and how that's not helpful. And I would argue that cardboard cuts, similar to the idea of Cedric and Ada doing rope cut tests, does give you an idea of performance because you're comparing one thing to the other, like one knife to the other based on the same media.
He's also coming into play geometry quite a bit, especially
100%.
with cardboard. You can see good geometry and bad geometry on the blade. Yeah.
And I would argue that he does a pretty good job of showing that in his videos as well, where some knives cut better than others.
He's a goofy bastard, but I mean he's got some fair points in most of his videos. Like they're worth watching.
I would agree, and so would the people that voted. It was a heavy lean in Advanced Knife Bro's favor. 71% of the vote to 29%.
Clear winner.
Very clear winner. 15 votes to 6.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, and I actually.
Well, the problem is that you didn't arm the Costco cardboard. You didn't give him anything. Like there was no weapon to counter. Just like Advanced Knife Bros drunken, just like slashing at bullshit.
To be fair, I didn't actually give him a weapon either.
But on Dennis's note there, that's kind of why I was giving all the cardboard the advantage is because Advanced Knife Bro is going to get tired out. He's going to get parched after a while. He's going to keep drinking booze, and there's just going to be too much cardboard. And exactly. And then the cardboard's going to tip over on him, and he'll suffocate and be done.
Yeah, and then the WWE/F wrestler, depending on how old you are, will run over and just like 1, 2, 3 count him, and the cardboard will win for sure.
Clearly, that's not the case. Clearly, when there's cardboard to be cut, Advanced Knife Bro is ready and willing to get the job done.
I will point you towards video. That is not the case.
Who says he cut it? It's just verses. Maybe he found a Bic lighter and he just set the whole store on fire.
He's just peeing on it all to make it soggy.
I'm done with this.
Again, Mr. Fisk is saying in chat, come on, he fought cardboard. My guy had a PhD. His
but a whole
wasn't even double wall corrugated.
Okay, so we'll have Fisk versus cardboard for next week. It's fine. Yeah,
because that solves the whole thing.
Guess who's gonna lose?
Could we vote in that one?
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
Wow.
So we did actually get a response from an Advanced Knife Bro. He liked the poll. He didn't vote in the poll, but he liked it.
A man of honor. My God.
Indeed. And then I said, I thought I should mention you're winning in the poll so far. And his response was, I would hope so. He knows he is the cardboard king.
He owns a kooker. Like, seriously. Does Fisk own a kookery?
Yeah, Mr. Fisk, do you own a kookery? He's saying in chat that if he loses to cardboard, he's pulling our funding.
Yeah.
Oh,
Half our budget
there-
will be gone.
there's some
We better give him an incentive to stay on.
some
if we kill
political
him off.
shenanigans.
Such as Paul flossing.
Yeah, we'll put up a flossing video. I forgot about trying to find one. I gave it a no-so search, and yeah, came up dry.
Niet.
Literally came up dry. But I'm ching.
Darren's taking off for the night. Have a good night, brother.
Again.
He did that once. I
Good
said
night.
goodbye. Like,
You're going to say it
see you
again.
later, brother.
See? Told you. On that note, he wins.
Indeed.
There, Justin just gave me a great idea for a video,
Yep.
and
Oh,
it's just me in a mirror flossing.
that's terrifying.
Mm-hmm. It is,
Thanks, Justin.
and that's what Mr. Fisk deserves.
To be terrified.
So, is that the end of the questions?
End of the questions, end of the fights.
End of the
I
answers?
do have the people that voted for cardboard. I figured I'd put them out in the world. So
I really
advance-
would like to know. I really would. Yes.
Would you? Would you really?
Yeah. Yeah. I want to go make friends with these people for sure.
Next giveaway, Paul's floss. Gross. But hey, man,
Hey, man, it can't have a worse turnout than our last giveaway did.
You do you.
I think I'm gonna save the floss for my OnlyFans though. On the note of who voted for cardboard though, Mad One Outdoors, Suno Glitch, Suno Glitch,
Mhm.
Mad Adam, Ben's Nath and Tool, Botanical EDC, and Weiser's Handiwork. There's what's that German letter that looks like a B but it's not a B?
I don't know
There's
why
one of
you
those.
think I would know that.
I didn't say German.
That's a good
I-
answer, Joe.
I don't know why you think any of
There's
us would know
11
that.
people watching it. One of them might know. You pricks.
Color me surprised.
Either way, I need to be sent this list so I can go friend request all of these people.
Fair enough.
You're
Because I'm
I would-
sure that I do not have some of these people in my Instagram.
you are a super weird dude, Dennis.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I don't
They
dislike
voted for
it.
cardboard. I deserve to be friends with them. Like it's
I want to point out too that one of the people that voted for Advanced Knife Bro was Nick Shabazz. So
Some solidarity.
there you go.
Nice.
The fact that Nick Shabazz
He's
took a
been
moment out
kinda-
of his day to look at our story randomly is kind of cool.
Shabazz has kind of been like shadow following our page for the last year or so. I got to admit, like
I dig it.
he pops up in weird times, and I admit that we made the top 25, top 10, something.
We were-
17, I think.
Yeah.
15?
Top
Yeah,
15.
I
I
think
think.
top 15.
Yeah. Anyway, we don't deserve to be up there because we're still struggling as a channel, but we're having fun with it. So what the hell, right? So,
Yeah.
Yep.
but Shabazz keeps tabs on us. I think he does.
Indeed.
We're
Because we
trying.
keep putting him in fights. He's like, guys, just leave me alone.
He's too polite to tell us to fuck off.
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Still needs to be a shirt.
Indeed. But on that note, let's run away.
For sure. So yeah, make sure you head on over to our Patreon page to check out what sort of tiers and prizes and exclusive content that we have up there. It's getting very, very close to getting time for another giveaway or some other exclusive content up there or something, I'm sure.
Yeah, I noticed we lost a subscriber and then we gained 2 just recently. We're hovering on the 500 marker on
Oh yeah,
YouTube.
for our YouTube subscribers, this week it's been a roller coaster. Like we gained 4, we lost 2, we gained 3, we lost 5, we gained 1,
Yeah.
we lost 3.
All over the map. It's been fun.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been fun. And I know our Instagram's getting close to 1,000, I think. Give or take.
Indeed.
So
We're sitting
liking,
at like
sharing,
970.
subscribing, all of the non-cursy things that you can do so Joe doesn't make your blood curdle. Although he kind of does every week, so just give him some credit here. Like it's So
Erica's cackle definitely made that.
Yeah,
That was great.
On that note,
So yeah. And with that all being said, this is Nigel the Smith signing off.
I am who I am. I'm Dennis Vipers.
I am the Iron Joe.
exile.ca.
We will catch you again next time.
We don't need